Welcome back to Module 6 of the Virtual Handshake training. In this one, we're going to be talking about innovation. And this one is the most unique out of all of the modules because it's really what separates selling offline from online. And when you start building your business online and doing more transactional type of stuff in the online world, then innovation becomes easier and you can do a lot more in terms of innovating and doing more creative things with your work, with your customers, and so on. So, before I talk about that, let's quickly revisit what we've talked about to this point. Module 1 was about positioning and creating a business and offers inside of that business that sort of merge your personal skills and your interests and a market that has some money and finding that sweet spot where you can actually make some real money, create products and services that meet real needs. Then we talked about a framework, which was really just the whole idea of creating a sales funnel, which is really just an online conversation where you sell stuff. And then in number 3, we talked about connection and how powerful those connections can be when you use things like video and you tell your personal stories and you create opportunities to connect with your prospective buyers and your customers using things like video, just as you would do in the offline world, but now just simulating that in a virtual world. Then we talked about slow money thinking and the patience required for the lifetime value of a customer. And then just before this chapter, we talked about earning trust and credibility and building that in the long run. Those 5 things alone could stand on their own as a training. The reason I wanted to throw this last one in about innovation is because this is where you can really take it to the next level. Now that you already, you've done these first 5 steps, you have offers, you have a way to sell new stuff to your customers, you have the proper plans in place to develop long-term relationships and so on. Well, now what are you going to do next? The innovation is where you can really get creative and ultimately how you lead your clients. And that's exactly what I'm talking about when I say innovation. Our definition for this course is growing, adapting, and leading your clients in your area of expertise. And I want you to remember that it's your specific area. Your business has been built around a certain type of brand or an industry or an area of expertise. And thinking back to that module 1, this is where you merged your skills and your talents and a market that spends money, and you picked what it is that you wanted to become known for, that you wanted to create solutions in a space for. And as you get good at that, so I don't know what it is. Let's pick something. Well, let's go back to my first example with my client, the healing music. His area of expertise is going to be self-improvement using the tool of healing music. And that can be adapted in a number of different ways. We talked about de-stressing and healthy mindset and so on. So his area of expertise is very tuned in to people who want self-improvement. Are you going to use specific strategies like healing music? As he becomes an expert on that topic and he gets more and more familiar with what people like and the type of music and how the music works for them and the styles and the times of days to use it and the science behind it. Maybe he researches or interviews experts in different fields in science and medicine, and he starts realizing all the connections that make his solution so powerful. He now is essentially mastering that topic. He's becoming so narrow focused yet so finely in tune with how his solution works and how his methodology really helps his customers, that innovation then becomes natural. Instead of having to think consciously about why his products work or what he's going to sell next, it's just part of who he is, and now innovation becomes natural for him. And when you're selling online, innovation becomes easier because you can do things like test new ideas. So let's go back to his example. He starts interviewing experts, people in the science field, people in the medical industry, maybe famous musicians or just experienced musicians, and he starts realizing all these different connections as to why his products and his music is working so well. He can create a new product and test it almost overnight. You cannot do this in the offline world. It takes time to get your customers, to mail them something in the mail or get them to come into your store or whatever. In an online selling world, sometimes it's as simple as posting a Facebook message or sending an email to an autoresponder list, or doing something like a Google Hangout where you can just put it out there and get feedback in real time. Imagine hosting a webinar where you can post a link to something and take a 5-minute break while people consume the content that you've just created. Innovation can be happening as we go when we're online sellers, when we're creating stuff online. This was never available before for traditional offline type of businesses. And I've just listed things here. Like I said, testing out a new idea. It could be a new product or a new service live. Or how about doing a survey? You just want to test the concept of an idea. So you put down 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 questions that you send to your customers who have already bought stuff from you, and you ask them straight up, I'm thinking of building something that does A, B, C, D, E. Would you buy it? What would you want it to do? What were some of the things that I haven't considered that you would want as features added to it, and so on. And you could get these responses in as short a period of time as like an hour or less, depending on how quickly you're connected to your audience. You could do things like virtual training, or like I said before, webinars and hangouts, or even group coaching where you get a chance to create discussion groups. All of these online innovations allow you to be more innovative in your business, and by doing so, you can literally invent new products, new services, new things to create from scratch, out of thin air, basically, that not only allow you to monetize your skill set, your time, and your brand, but help your customers by doing things they never even knew they needed. You're literally inventing solutions, and that's what's so exciting about merging creativity with your mastery, and that's what innovation is all about. The real message here is that consistency is key. It's not enough to set up one sales funnel with one transaction where you offer the free report and you try to sell them something, and then you thank them for their business and you go away. That's just one conversation in an ongoing dialogue. The consistency. What do you say to them next? What do you say to them next week, next month, next year? What kind of new ideas do you put into their head? What kind of ideas do they give you through their questions at your help desk to inspire new thoughts in your mind and in the building of your business? You need to be consistent in engaging with your audience in order to be inspired to get those answers and to even have any of this stuff occur to you. So it's a matter of planning. It's a matter of staying in touch with your audience through email messages, through social networking, through running webinars, through offering training and going to training, getting trained yourself. And all these things together, by staying consistent with that brand and with your customer set, will really work in your favor, and innovation becomes extremely exciting at that point. So at this point, I would like to recommend that you head over to the Virtual Handshake tip sheet and look at the innovation tips that we have there, and use these on an ongoing basis to stay innovative and to lead your customers and inspire them to keep doing new things and grow your brand. And that's really what makes this whole online selling game so very exciting. So I hope you've enjoyed this kind of unique look at translating what we've known for years and years about successful selling in the offline world, and how to replicate those famous lessons, powerful lessons, but do it in this new online way, and do it with a new spin that a lot of these new online technologies allow us to do, that people, decades and even centuries ago would have only dreamed of. And now we have it here at our fingertips. It's just a matter of us tapping into that and taking advantage of it today. Hope you enjoy it, and best of luck in your business.